If you're between 25 and 35 years old and you're not investing yet, this might be the most expensive mistake of your life. Not because you are losing money today, but because you are losing something far more powerful: time. Most people in their 20s and early 30s believe this phase of life is for enjoying travel, shopping, upgrading phones, eating out, and they keep telling themselves one thing: I'll start investing later. But here is the uncomfortable truth. For many people, 25 to 35 are the most powerful financial years of their entire life, not because they earn the most, but because time is working for them. And most people completely waste this advantage. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this idea, you may never look at money the same way again. And before we continue, if you enjoy learning about investing, wealth building, and financial education, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next videos. Now imagine two people, Jake and Emily. Jake starts investing at 25 years old. Nothing complicated. He simply invests $200 every month into a basic long-term index fund. No trading, no guessing, just consistent investing. Now meet Emily. Emily decides to wait. She focuses on lifestyle upgrades, spending more, and tells herself she will start later when she earns more. Finally, at 35 years old, Emily begins investing. But here's the interesting part. Emily actually invests more than Jake. She invests $400 per month. So logically, Emily should end up richer, right? After all, she invests twice as much. But when both reach age 60, something surprising happens. Jake ends up with significantly more money than Emily, even though he invested less every month. Why? Because of one powerful concept: compound growth. Money grows, but the growth also begins to grow. Then the growth of that growth grows again. Over time, that small snowball becomes massive. And in a moment, I'll explain why someone who starts investing just 10 years earlier can end up with dramatically more wealth, even if they invest less money. Legendary investor Warren Buffett often explains this idea very simply. The secret is not trying to perfectly time the market. The real secret is time in the market. The longer your money stays invested, the more time it has to grow. Historically, the S&P 500, which tracks many of the largest companies in the United States, has averaged roughly 7 to 10% annual returns over long periods. Not every year. Some years are negative, some years are positive. But over long periods, the trend has generally been upward. This means someone who starts investing early gives their money 30 or even 40 years to grow. And that changes everything. Now here is where many people between 25 and 35 make a big mistake. They believe they need a lot of money to start investing. But the truth is, investing is not about starting big. It's about starting early and staying consistent. Even small amounts can matter, because consistency builds momentum. Think of it like planting a tree. If you plant a tree today, it has decades to grow. But if you wait 10 years, the tree will always be smaller, no matter how much water you give it later. The same thing happens with investing. Time cannot be replaced. There is another reason the 25-35 window is so powerful. Your lifestyle is still flexible. Most people don't yet have extremely large financial responsibilities. This is the time when you can build strong financial habits: saving regularly, investing consistently, avoiding unnecessary debt. because habits built in these years often stay for life. And small habits today can create huge financial differences later. But here is something many people never realize. Investing is not only about money, it's about ownership. When you invest in companies, you are no longer just a consumer. You become a small owner. Instead of only buying products, you begin owning pieces of the businesses that sell them. That mindset shift is powerful because consumers spend money, but owners grow money. Before we continue, if this video is helping you understand investing in a simple way, take a second to subscribe so you don't miss future videos on wealth building and financial education. Now it's important to understand something. Investing does not guarantee profits. Markets move up. Markets move down. Some years perform well. Some years perform poorly. That's why long-term thinking matters. Successful investors usually focus on three simple principles: consistency, diversification, patience, not chasing quick wins, and definitely not gambling, because real wealth is usually built slowly over time. So if you are between 25 and 35 years old, here is the real message. You are not late, but you are also not early forever. Every year you delay reduces the power of compounding. The difference between starting at 25 and starting at 35 can be enormous, not because one person worked harder, but because one person gave their money more time to grow. And once you understand that, something changes. You stop thinking about spending every dollar today, and you start thinking about what that dollar could become in the future. So ask yourself one simple question. Not, how much money do I have? But instead, have I started building my financial future yet? Because the earlier the journey begins, the easier the destination becomes. If you want to learn more about investing, wealth building, and financial education, subscribe and stay in touch for more information. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions.